Welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds and the final bonus kit review as part of January ACADEMANIA. So for the first video I showed, I had 4 kits, and then I saw this at my local hobby shop, and I just got it on a lark. It's the Academy New Bedford Whaler circa 1835. Easy to assemble, all parts precision injection, fully engraved with copper plate, sheathing detail, molding in 3 colors to minimize painting, although I will paint it, and comes with a display stand as well. So it's a 1/200. So it's not going to be too small. And it's Academy catalog number 14204. As always with Academy kits, you get a nice set of pictures on the side of what the completed kit looks like. And there's 2 more little ones on this side. So, as I said, I just got it on a lark, and I'll tell you at the end how much I paid for it. And you can tell me whether you think it's worthwhile or not. Okay, so, nice box art. I don't see a signature. But sometimes they're obscured. Anyways, it's not a picture of the model. It's a painting of the ship. And it's, as I said, 1/200 scale. And New Bedford, I believe it in Massachusetts, was certainly the whaling capital of North America, and was in the running for one of the largest whaling towns in North America. And so much so that their whalers were actually called New Bedford Whalers. They were specially designed. If you've seen the movie Moby Dick, I believe that's a New Bedford Whaler, the Pequod. And so it was a hard life, and as any kind of sailoring is, very hard life, involved lots of hard work, a lot of danger, lots of injuries, but it was very lucrative, because between the time, before petroleum oil took over in the late 1800s, it was whale oil that people put in the lamps and so on and so forth. So it was used a lot. And so when the whales were killed, their meat wasn't used for anything. The blubber, it was just, it was all rendered out. The oil was rendered out, and then the rest was just popped over the side or whatever. So it was, pretty brutal trade. Still goes on in some places. Iceland, Japan, places where that don't have their own petroleum oil, and so they use it a lot, as was the traditional uses for lanterns and so on and so forth. Okay, yeah, but fortunately, some of the whale populations went to the brink of extinction before they reined in the trade, and it really was taken over by petroleum oil. But as I say, there's still a few countries that practice it, and just an example that no matter what kind of oil it is, the world world runs on it. And I'd rather get it. I'd rather get it out of the ground and send it through pipelines than kill whales. Thank you. Okay, so we've got, as with all Academy models, it's made in Korea. This has a copyright of 2019. Uh, 2019 was the new box. I think it's still the same 1994 molds. Alright, so let's get into this here. Okay. So let's see what we get here. Can't be that bad, can it? Okay, as always, right on top with Academy, we get the check the parts before you open the bags. They won't get your replacement parts or anything if the bags have been opened. Okay, and so we've got what? We've got 2 sprues here with or 2 bags with looks like 2 sprues in each bag. And we've got the Academy Tech Tips, which is nice. Assembly tips and instructions, multiple languages, Chinese, Japanese, English, Korean, of course, French, and German. We get a small instruction booklet. And they're improving. I mean, their kits didn't used to have anything about the service history or the history. The one complaint here, I mentioned it before, they have a little note. You can download the latest version of an instruction manual for this model by visiting academyhobby.com. Well, you can't. They don't. I tried, and there's like one thing there, and that's it. But you do get a little write-up here. The new Bedford Whaler. Until the 1870s, whaling was a very important industry in New England, sailing halfway around the world to hunt the sperm whale in the western Pacific Ocean for its oil. The typical whaling vessel made terribly long 3 to 4 year voyages to fill its barrels with the rendered oil that provided fuel for the oil lamps and lubrication for machinery, before the discovery of petroleum in 1871 in Pennsylvania. This typical whaler measured about 120 feet in length, had a 28-foot beam, that's width, and a draft, that is the below the water line of 14 feet. Crew of 20 to 30 men labored under terrible and dangerous conditions. At its peak, New Bedford had 429 whaling vessels registered, calling it home port. And then there's a small legend here, cement parts cut away. And they list the paints here: black, metallic, metallic gray, white, red, brown, tan, gold, and copper. Okay, it's just a fold-out leaflet style. Like I said, I'm not expecting too much from this, but let's take a look and see. I got it because I thought I could have some fun with it, decorating it up nicely without it being too complicated. Okay, so got a little ahead of myself there. Let's take a look at the parts here. There we go. So obviously we've got the hull. This is very nicely detailed. And this is listed as sprue A. Looks like these are the display stand pieces. I'm not seeing any flash. No parts are bent or broken. Yeah. Pretty flawless, actually. No decals for this. I think I have some somewhere that'll suffice, though. And alright, so we got whaling boats here. Not fabulous detail. We've got ones stacked up here. There's the deck. Again, nicely detailed. You can see all the boards, the latches on the hatches, skylights, steps, anchor chains. Yeah, again, nothing bent, nothing broken. Well, this one's bent a tiny little bit, but only off the sprue post. The part itself isn't bent. With the anchor here, wheel, mast and spars. These have nice detail as well. These look like more pieces for display stand. Very nice. Okay, now some of you guys out there might be laughing at me, but just wait to the end. You might not be laughing then. Okay, here we go. Get into the next sprue bag. And they've given thread for the rigging, very nice. And it's not just thread, it looks like ropey thread. So that's very nice too. Good job. That's a quarter bonus point. Okay, and now here, look what we got. Got the sails. They're all very nicely formed. And they're quite finely detailed and contoured. They're not just, flat pieces of plastic. There's texture, and you can see the weave of the canvas. So very nice. That's the C sprue. And you know, I suppose if you really wanted to, you could make your own sails. But there you go. And then here we've got more rigging and smaller sails, jibs, whatever. I used to know a bunch of that stuff, but I can't remember it anymore. And yeah, the D sprue, and you know, even with all of this very fine rope rigging here, there's no flash. Everything looks just perfect. So excuse me. Now we'll get to the instructions. We'll open her up here. And they give you the paint names in English here. And it says refer to box art for painting details. Shows you where the copper plates are and where they aren't. And so yeah, you put the two halves of the hull together. You put the deck superstructure. And you start with the mast. And then you go in with the boats. And it gives you different instructions for the rat lines. It says cut on the top line, cut on the bottom line, and cut on the line. But then here it says do not cut. Oh, do not cut D1. So there's D1A, D1B, D2. So yeah. Okay. And then yeah, and then the rest of those rat lines go in. And that sail at the back, whatever it's called. And here then we've got the sails, the main sails. And then down here they show how to do all the rigging. Good of them to say rig the lines after the paint is dry. And yeah, so these instructions say copyright 1994. So yeah, it's from 94. So yeah, so there it is. So, amateuristic, yes. Simplistic, yes. Okay, so as always, I'll put up a card on how I rate the model kits. There's a video for that, or you can just look it up. It's on my channel. So it's a total of 12 points, 10 standard points, 2 points for packaging, 2 points for sprues, 3 points for parts, and 3 points for instructions. Quarter point bonus for any wow factors. And and up to 1 full point bonus for a value. And I look at value not only the cost of the kit itself, but how many hours I can expect of enjoyment to get out of it. So I got it from Matt's hobby shop here in town. So the packaging was perfect. It was sealed in cellophane. No dents. Everything was great. So 2 points there. Once inside, the sprues, they were complete. Parts were attached. There was no flash, no problems with molding marks or anything. And for parts, the quality of the plastic was good. The detail was excellent. And there were no warped or broken parts. And so yeah, that's a 3, and an extra bonus point of a quarter for the ropey thread. They could have just put thread in, but no, it was nicely contoured, and the sails are nice too, very nicely detailed. And so yeah, so the quarter point for the wow on the rope thread, and a full bonus point, 1 full bonus point, the first ever full bonus point I've given for value. And that brings this kit evaluation up to an 11. Why does it get a full point for value? $11.99 Canadian. $11.99 Canadian. And you can do so much with this, and I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And so what? It's not a Fujimi 1350 whatever. But I think it'll be a lot of fun to build, a lot of fun to decorate, and it'll look great on the corner of the shelf somewhere. So I think that'll be fun. So yeah, a full 11 for that, and hard to go wrong for $12. And as I said, if you did want to do your own sails out of paper or some other cloth material, then you've got your molds right there, and everything beautifully detailed. Very impressed, actually. This gets 100% better than the Tempest kit that was first in the series. So, okay, so that's it for ACADEMANIA, I promise. And everything will be available on a playlist. I'm just going to put each video out. I'm not going to wait till the end and put them out all at once. So people can watch them, or they can wait and watch the whole playlist on a binge basis. So thanks to all my subscribers, pushing 250 now, and picked up a lot over Christmas, about 50 actually, from Christmas Eve up until the other day. And so I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everyone stopping by to the channel to visit. Shout out to all my friends, and Terry as well at Hobby Barn. Going through some health challenges now, but I pass along everyone's messages for him, and we're hoping that he can get well enough so he can get back into the hobby room and do some model kit and stuff. So so that's it for today. Thanks again. Under 30 minutes. Not a big kit. But yeah, like I say, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a blast to put together, and and mostly a lot of fun to paint her up. So thanks again, and we'll be seeing you soon.